How are you tonight? Good. It's good to see you. I want to say hi to everybody watching online too and all of our campuses. And welcome to 40 Days of Transformation. Actually, it's 50 Days of Transformation. I have been excited about this. I've been working on this series for almost 2 years. And I want you to know that I'm more excited about where we're going in the next 50 days than anything since we did 40 Days of Purpose many years ago. If you'll take out your message notes inside your program, our theme verse for the next 50 days is going to be Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Romans 12, verse 2 is going to be our memory verse for this week. And it's here on the screens, and it's also on the walls on either side, because I want you to learn and memorize this verse. Let's read it aloud together, Romans 12, 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay, let's read it again. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. God wants you to be a nonconformist. He wants you to be a nonconformist. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed. You'll either be conformed or you're going to be transformed. You see, God created you to be unique. God created you to be special. God created you to be like nobody else. You have a unique voice print, thumbprint, handprint, heartbeat. God doesn't make clones. Man does, but God doesn't make clones. And God says, I want you to be unique, not conform to anybody else's idea of what you should be. But the problem is we all start off as originals, but we end up as copies of other people. And we get conformed and we get pressured and we get pushed into a mold. Now, during the next 7 weeks, we're going to look at 7 key areas of your life and the changes that you need to make, want to make, and can make because of God's power in your life. We're going to look at your spiritual health. We're going to look at your physical health, mental health, emotional health. We're going to talk about transforming the way you think, transforming the way you feel. We're going to talk about financial health, transforming the way you look at and use money, relationships, relational health, vocational health, your career, and where you're going for the rest of your life. Now, I want to begin this 50 days by explaining to you the big picture of what is a campaign, because some of you are new to Saddleback, and you're going, what is this? We do this every year in January and February. We'll do a 40 days of peace, or 50 days of faith, or 40 days of love, and 50 days of your calling. And we do these over and over once a year. We've done them almost every year. Saddleback invented this idea of a campaign, and I want to explain to you why we do what we do. The first reason is because we all learn differently. The person sitting next to you has a different learning style than you do. That's why, in school, if you happen to have the learning style that school teaches, you're going to get straight A's in school. It doesn't mean you're smarter than anybody else. It just means you understand how to do what they want you to do there. But I've known a lot of people who totally flunked out of school and are brilliant, because there's lots of different kinds of intelligence and there's lots of different kinds of learning styles, and schools tend to only teach one style. So if you didn't do good in school, don't worry about it. Doesn't mean anything about your character, doesn't mean anything about your life. It just means you didn't fit that particular learning style of how to read something in a book and then write it over here. Some people are audio learners. They're audible learners. They learn through the ear gate. They learn by listening. That's how they learn. They listen and they learn. Now, if you're an audible learner, you love church, because this is the primary style we use at church. We're doing it right now. I'm talking, you're listening. You sit still while I instill. And if you're an audible learner and you learn through the ear gate, you love church and you're picking up stuff right now. You're already learning things as I talk to you. Others of you, it's going in one ear and right out the other, because you're not an audible learner. Some people say, no, I don't like to listen, but I like to read it, or I like to see it. I'm a visual learner. And some of you are visual learners. You say, show me a movie about it. Let me see it in action. Let me read it. Let me watch it. And if you do that, you are a visual learner. And some people are visual learners. And they learn through art and things like that. Then there are other people who say, no, I don't like to listen. And I don't like to read. But I do like to talk. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different learning style. And talkers are oral learners. And if you're an oral learner, you actually figure out what you believe by talking about it. And if you're an oral learner, you love small groups. Why? Because in small groups, you don't just have to listen, you get to talk. And a lot of people, they actually figure out what they believe. They figure out their convictions. They figure out